Welcome back, y'all. This is episode 3, and I'm your host, Paige Batcher. In today's episode, it's all about the modern lifestyle business. In this episode, we'll be exploring what it looks like to holistically approach your business, building it from the inside out. Because inside of you is the vision that you hold for what you want in your business, and importantly, in your dream lifestyle. And what kind of lifestyle business is right for you? That is the exact question to ask yourself. And thankfully, there are no wrong answers here. There's merely a right answer for you. Whatever picture of success looks like for you, it's your own. And let's look at things in context, shall we? Back in the Middle Ages, if you wanted to learn a new skill or build a new craft, you had to find someone in your village and become their apprentice so they could show you the ropes. Back then, the average vision for what was possible would have been a sliver of what you consider possible today. For my parents, it was the franchise system that was best suited for them to be able to start their business. It was their roadmap. And according to the U.S. Small Business Association, franchise fees today range anywhere from $20,000 upward to $100,000. So it's no surprise that when I was a kid, my parents took out a second mortgage to start their business. But there's been a major shift since the 1990s. And no, I'm not just talking about boy bands. Are you an NSYNC fan or a Backstreet Boys fan? Seriously, the major shift is that we are no longer bounded by concepts of what a traditional or typical business or even career can look like. Today, many different types of businesses can be started with less investment, more access to marketing channels, and some can actually be run from your backpack. And that's been my experience. A decade ago, I was a Fulbright scholar in Thailand, and I recently returned to Thailand to find a thriving digital nomad community in Chiang Mai. I was surrounded by people from all over the world working on all kinds of things. I was there for a month helping to facilitate a retreat for women who were starting their own businesses. And while there, yes, of course, I also explored the beaches and my personal growth, all while running my business from my laptop and my smartphone, coordinating with my team and our clients across the globe. According to Forbes, 36% of American adults engage in some sort of gig work. And as they put it, the gig economy, at least in its 21st century iteration, exists because of technology. Because don't you see, thanks to the computers in our pocket, we now have unparalleled access to discover people who are truly creating the kind of lifestyle businesses that we most desire. We're no longer confined to our villages, right? We have the whole wide world at our fingertips. And so now is the time to go find that figurative apprenticeship, to go learn from the people who are doing the thing that you most want to do. And okay, ladies, I say this from intimate knowledge, that when we find the people doing the thing we're really excited to do, here are the most commonly felt things. These two things. First, we feel inspiration. Great, good, I'm so glad. Let's get inspired, let's go. Because the average lifespan is only 72 years old. That's it. Some people live to be over 100 years old, and others die much, much sooner. We will all die, and we know that. And so live your life according to your vision, right? According to your own formula. Now is the time to take that inspiration, but first and foremost, right? You really want to define what it is that you want from your life. Because I will tell you the thing that from working with entrepreneurs over the past 7 years, I often meet entrepreneurs who ignored the step of defining what they actually wanted. Instead, they looked for any opportunity to make money. And here's what happens when they did that. Even after working through the challenges that will always come with running any kind of businesses, they then found themselves in a business that did not support the lives they truly wanted to live. So here's the simple solution. Start taking note now of the life that you want. And if you're looking for some support on this, stick around after the interview in a few minutes, and we will help you get those juices flowing. The second thing that happens when people find other folks doing the thing that they really want to do is that instead of feeling like it's proof that things are possible, we start to compare ourselves. And let me say this, comparison is the enemy of progress. And when I've met entrepreneurs over the past, women who have actually done the inner work to define what they really want out of their life, here's what sometimes they do next. They start to talk themselves out of it. They start to find reasons why it's not possible for them. And that becomes the next step in the journey, is forming new ideas and new beliefs. And so can you begin to look around at people who are successful and realizing that means you can do it too? People used to think that the 4-minute mile was impossible, that no one could run a mile faster than that. And in 1954, when Roger Bannister was the first person in recorded history to do so, that broke that 4-minute mile barrier. And now over 1,400 athletes have done so. The other thing to realize is that there are 7.5 billion people in the world. That's so many people for you to help and reach with your unique message, okay? I'd like to share with you a story of a woman who set records. She went to places unknown, and she did it so that other women could help figure out ways to do it for themselves. And I hope this will inspire you to see what's possible when you follow your own vision and when you use inspiration, not comparison, along your journey. Amelia Earhart was born in Kansas in 1897. Around the age of 30, Amelia became the first woman to fly across the Atlantic Ocean. And she's famous, of course, for her accomplishments, for her records, for her breakthroughs. Her determination to be a pioneer in her field is what led her to become the first woman to attempt a flight around the entire world. And this is well before commercial flights. This was an incredibly dangerous, unprecedented journey just before her 40th birthday. And that is when Amelia and her plane vanished somewhere in the mid-Pacific. And it's been a tragedy and a mystery that people have been trying to figure out ever since. Amelia was the first woman to cross the Atlantic Ocean, which is an incredible accomplishment. But what I love so much about her and her story is that she wasn't just the first. It was that she was determined that she would not be the last. While everyone knows the stories of her big flights, right? The true inspiration came from her day-to-day work. Amelia was the president and founding member of the 99s, an organization for women pilots, which at the time of its founding just included 99 members, hence the name. Today, there are over 155 chapters around the world, from Brazil to Finland to China. As a visiting professor and aeronautical engineer at Purdue University, Amelia worked as a career advisor to women students. She was an early supporter of the Equal Rights Amendment and a member of the National Women's Party. She dedicated her life not just to adventure, exploration, and pushing boundaries, but also in building a community and a support network of women. Sometimes I wonder what Amelia would think if she knew that the thing that she's most remembered for is her disappearance somewhere over the Pacific Ocean on a summer day in 1937. But then I come back to this line that she wrote in a letter she'd prepared for her husband in the event that a dangerous flight one day become fatal. And I realized that maybe she wouldn't mind at all. Amelia said, "Women must try to do the things as men have tried. When they fail, their failures must be but a challenge to others." While Amelia's lifetime work of advocacy for other women might have been overshadowed by the excitement and drama of her flight missions, Amelia herself was never worried about being overshadowed. Her success isn't defined by the fact that she was the first. It's defined by the fact that she was far from the last. And in this belief, in going where the next adventure or challenge awaits, in the belief that the empowerment of one woman can lift up the world, that is exactly what I'm excited to talk about today with my guest, Caitlin Hubert. Caitlin Hubert is a stylist, a mom, an influential human being, and the creator of Tomboy Hair Care. She started the business 2 years ago with 6 original products and now has an expanded line of 14 products and counting. Caitlin has amassed a substantial following online, and as her Instagram account began to grow, she decided to turn likes into profit and impact. In this special interview, Caitlin gave me a haircut. I do hope you enjoy.
When I meet women, I tell them that anything's possible, that they could do their passion like you do, travel multiple cities, run their business from their backpack. The first thing that I hear a lot of times is, "I'm not tech savvy." Did you always feel tech savvy? I mean, No, definitely not. I did, Google things, YouTube, did my research. And then also,
utilizing that network of people. If I had a question and I needed to know how to do it, I asked someone. And more times than not, people are more than willing to help you out.
Yeah. I also think the tech these days is easier than it's ever been. You used to have to get developers to develop a website.
Mm-hmm.
And now I would say, you could tell me if this is incorrect, but I would say you're running the majority of your marketing through Instagram, which is just done through a phone.
Yes.
You started your hair care line 2 years ago, but then how long ago did you start on Instagram?
My first picture was posted on Instagram in 2014.
Did you know that you were going to have as many people looking at your content as they do now?
No, I started Instagram with the intent of, just having it for fun. And then Pixie pages started to repost my photos, which is really when my page started to grow. And I think most of my following really happened within the past 2 to 3 years.
When it came to setting up your brand, what was that like? What were some of the tech hurdles or any things you didn't know that you needed to know but you didn't know then? What was the experience of getting that going?
Honestly, I didn't know a lot about any kind of sales platforms or anything like that. I just kind of jumped into it, did my research, YouTubed a lot. If you want to know how to do something, there's so many free resources right at our fingertips. So honestly, I figured out most of my software, sales platforms, all that on my own, just through doing the work.
Tell me more about your vibe and your audience, because I feel like you really have this unique, multi-dimensional, become anything at any time kind of look to me.
Yes. So I definitely consider my look to be really versatile. I can wake up and decide, to put on a full face of makeup. Or I can wake up and decide to throw on a hat and, some jeans that day. So most of my following is really similar. A lot of pixie cuts, a lot of queer women, a lot of hairstylists, definitely a good variety, mostly women for sure.
It's an amazing time to be anybody you want to be.
It definitely is. I agree.
I remember as a kid when boys or adults would call me a tomboy, it was almost like they were picking on me. And now it feels like you're taking the tomboy as a word, but you're giving it more of a powerful feeling. Do you see that that's giving women more confidence? And what are your experiences?
Yes, I honestly love that word. I feel like it correlates with coolness.
It's not claim, but
yes, it is. It's really cool. I love too that I've had people message me or whatever and say that I inspired them to cut their hair off, or they'd been thinking about it and they just needed to see something, some kind of sign that made them take that leap, or they were worried about not having long hair anymore because long hair or short hair isn't sexy. So I love that tomboy almost kind of empowers not only women with short hair, but just women in general who don't fit the normal, society standards of what a woman should be.
Basically, I am enamored by the fact that you traveled to 3 different cities. How did you get into all that? How did you end up just traveling to 3 different cities whenever you want?
Well, honestly, the opportunities kind of just came about via social media and networking, just meeting the right people. And then in turn, getting these opportunities to make connections and do these things and build a book, meet clients and New York and Los Angeles.
That's incredible. It's like rock stars.
It has been really cool. Social media has been awesome for things like that.
I really feel like there's a lot of entrepreneurs these days that are looking at the social media platforms, the TikTok, the Snapchat, the Instagram. It's all about, I got to get more likes, I got to get more followers, and I really need to grow this influence with the first purpose of making money. But for you, it was sort of, you went out there and built a following, then you decided to monetize that following. How How do you think that shaped you? Because I think that was probably impact first and then monetization later.
Definitely. I love the fact that I was able to build a following just through connections and relating to people, and then deciding that, instead of sitting around just posting photos and getting likes on the photos, what can I do to make money while also being genuine and maintaining those connections with people. So I feel like there's a certain level of trust too, because what I post on my page is very organic, and it comes from the heart. I'm huge on kindness on my page, positivity for sure, and I feel like that trickles down into my brand. And when people see my brand, I want them to think of me and think, she's positive, she's upbeat, she's kind, she lifts up other women.
What advice would you give a woman watching the show who maybe she's thinking that it's not in the cards for her? What advice would you give her to see go for it?
My advice would be that you have to start somewhere. It doesn't happen overnight. But you have to at least take the first step. Like sitting on the couch and dreaming about it isn't going to make it happen. You definitely have to put action behind your thoughts. Otherwise, you'll continue to sit right where you are in this moment. When there's other people out there that chose to take the leap and go after it, you could be one of those people.
Do you think taking action means that we're always super confident about what we're doing?
No, but it's willing to take a chance with, the possibility that you might not succeed. And that's part of the reward, is being willing to take a risk.
Yeah, and thank you so much. Feel like Brighton's gonna thank you so much.
This is awesome. Thank you so much.
No matter where you are in your business journey, it is never too late to start asking yourself some really important questions about what you actually want your lifestyle business to look like. So I'm going to ask you a series of rapid questions to help you do so. Grab a journal, grab a pen, or just say them out loud, or be willing to answer them silently in your mind. But most importantly, go with your gut. Whatever comes to you first, inevitably, is coming from a place of intuition and inner knowingness. And so trust that and move on. Follow me on to the next question. All right, you ready? Don't overthink this. Let's just get going. Question number 1. How big do you want your team to be? Because no business is run alone. Do you want an office building or an office campus, like the size of a company like Google? Or do you want a home office or a traveling remote office? Do you see yourself spending days in a research lab or perhaps an igloo? I mean, that might sound random, but it's possibly someone's dream. Are you working beside the pool? Are you walking to your office? What does that look like in your day-to-day life? Okay, this is a big one. What legacy do you want to leave? How many people a year or each month or each week do you want to serve in your business? How much income do you want to make a month? And if you don't realize that your energy is the thing that will link you to the income and the impact you want to make, then be sure to go back and watch our episode 2. So what does your ideal lifestyle look like for you? What's that first gut instinct that comes up when you ask yourself that? What do I want out of life? What do I want out of life? What's that first thing that comes up for you? Or that vision you have? Now ask yourself, what is required to reach that vision. And this one's really big. Who do you have to become in order to make that vision a reality? Okay, so I know we went super quickly here, but if you want to continue diving in deeper and writing these out more thoroughly, which is proven to help you reach your goals, I encourage you to go to empoweredboss.com. Check out, we've got plenty of resources, tools, and your mission here for episode 3. So to close out today's episode, love, I want to remind you that you can be a pioneer like Amelia Earhart, or you can be inspired by and follow in the path of someone who is pioneering in the field that's calling you. We also learned from our guest, Caitlin Hubert, that it's all about designing what you want and being willing to ask the right questions and connect with a larger network outside of yourself to learn that next step that may have you running a business where you're traveling and living in multiple locations, or however you define it. I want to wholeheartedly remind you that your vision is your own, and whatever is right for you is right for you. Your vision might include trading your briefcase for a backpack so you can take your business around the world. Or on the contrary, your business might be trading in those flip-flops for a set of high heels in a high-powered environment in high fashion. One of the most important things that we can do once we have our vision defined is share it with the right people. According to the American Society of Training and Development, they found that people are 65% more likely to meet a goal after committing it to another person. And their chances of success increase to 95% when they build in ongoing meetings with their partners to check in on their progress. So what that says is that as you go and share your vision, not just with anybody, but with the right supportive network around you, it makes it all more possible. So with that, I definitely encourage you to go to empoweredboss.com. Get plugged in. This is a safe, supportive environment. And again, my name is Paige Batcher, and my team and I are on a mission to help increase the empowerment effect that happens when women step into their power and tap into their purpose to make a bigger impact on this planet. In the next episode of Empowered Boss, we will be going into the role of the mindful influencer, someone who is willing to think outside of the box and step up for themselves and what is righteous in this world in order to make a bigger impact on this planet. I'll see you then.